Russian troops are closing in on the capital. Their military vehicles have been filmed entering the city. And in the last few hours, multiple explosions have been reported. Exact figures are unknown, but there are reports of large numbers of Ukrainian casualties, both military and civilian, since the invasion began, and of Russian military deaths. Streams of people in cars and on foot have been crossing from Ukraine into Poland, Romania and Hungary. The UN Refugee Agency believes up to 5 million people may try to flee abroad. There's fierce fighting in many parts of the country, with Russian troops advancing from the north, from the east and from Crimea in the south. But tonight, all eyes are on Kyiv. There have been exchanges of fire in the north of the city, which was reached by an advance party of Russian troops. Ukrainian authorities say 18,000 machine guns have been handed out to volunteers who want to defend their capital, while Russia claims it's taken control of the Hostomel airfield to the northwest of the city, important for international cargo and a key military airbase. In our first report tonight, our correspondent Nick Beake looks at the day the nation's capital came under attack.
The early sirens wailed in Ukraine's capital once more. But this was no rude awakening. No one had been able to sleep. The latest Russian bombardments had hit yet more homes, injuring the very civilians the Kremlin promised had nothing to fear from what it calls a targeted attack on the Ukrainian military. As we make our way through Kyiv, we find volunteers now bearing arms to protect their country. We soon see signs of a battle drawing ever nearer, as well as those bracing themselves for a last stand. Of all the places to get a flat tire, Alina's family now caught between Ukrainian artillery and the Russian front line. Elena says the whole family is very afraid and can't now go back to their home. And this is why. What do you think of what Vladimir Putin is doing to the Ukrainian people?
Що ви думаєте, що Путін робить
This is him, Elena's mother tells me.
You can hear the artillery. That is outgoing fire from Ukrainian forces. That family has just left. The fear here is that very soon Russian forces will be making their way down here to take the capital.
At the same time, Ukraine's president was trying to reassure a nation, pleading with the world to help them.
For the second day, our cities experienced rocket and bomb strikes, masses of tanks as well as airstrikes, which are similar to those which Europe has already seen during the Second World War and about which it said never again. But this is now how it is. It happens again.
President Putin urged the military he was attacking to turn on their own government.
I appeal to the servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine. Do not let neo-Nazis and Ukrainian ultra-nationalists use your children, wives and the elderly as human shields. Take power into your own hands.
Ukraine is under attack on many fronts. In Mariupol, in the southeast, destruction. In Sumy, in the northeast, battles rage. And here in the capital, in circumstances still unclear, horror as a tank drives over a car. Incredibly, the driver survived. And this is a pivotal battleground, an airport northwest of Kyiv. Its fate could be vital to that of the whole country. If the Russians succeed there, this will be one of the first neighborhoods they come through, Podil. Today it looks like any other in Ukraine. This queue is for the pharmacy. Maxim tells us he hopes any advancing Russians would not harm him and his family.
I think they don't take our normal people. I think they have heart inside. They have something good inside.
Elena, a grandmother, says Russian occupation would be a disaster.
This is my city, the city of my parents, my grandparents. I'm not going to leave.
And as for what she makes of Vladimir Putin,
When a person is so inadequate, nobody knows what will come to his mind.
This evening, the mind of President Zelensky was defiant. Speaking from the streets of Kyiv, he posted this message on social media.
We are all here. Our soldiers are here, the citizens are here, and we are here. We defend our independence. That's how it'll go. Glory to our defenders, both male and female. Glory to Ukraine.
Tonight, there is overwhelming support for the men and women being asked to save their country. But there's also a deep fear the effort will not be enough. Nick Beake, BBC News, Kyiv.
Well, we had been hoping to broadcast tonight's programme from the capital, but it is too dangerous to be out on the streets. Let's talk to our chief international correspondent, Lyse Doucet. And Lyse, as we can see, you, the team, others, having to take shelter tonight in a basement.
This is Kyiv tonight, what was a vibrant European city, nearly 3 million people. But tonight they've gone underground to take shelter, and that includes us. We're in an underground parking garage. Many others are here. We could just show you where we are. The chairs all lined up. Cots have been brought out. You can see the urns of coffee and tea in the distance. This is where we're going to have to take shelter through the night, and we're not sure for how much longer. There were repeated air raid sirens tonight, and then a call from the authorities, including the people running this hotel: take to your shelters and don't come out. The mayor of this city, a famous boxer who has now taken on a military uniform and picked up a gun, he told the citizens of Kyiv this is going to be a difficult night. There was a roar of explosions reverberating across Kyiv tonight. Explosions in the distance, still not in the center, still about 10 miles away. There was also the rattle of gunfire and artillery as well. This was a night so different from last night, where these explosions first started. But there's a real worry that as the Russian forces keep approaching the city, while there's fighting in the suburbs, this is just the beginning of what could be a long battle, a battle for this city to survive. And we saw today, as we went around the city, how war has pulled life from Kyiv. People have taken either to underground shelters like this, or they fled, or they're picking up a gun to fight.
Lyse, very many thanks. Do take care. Thank you very much. Lyse Doucet there in the capital tonight.